Hello, everyone. Sorry, we were a few minutes late. Well, in a few minutes, I mean 7 minutes late, which I suppose is not bad. But again, live streams sometimes just never go to plan, and things just never work out. Um, it's not as bright as it would, but I put on the light. No, actually, no, I would move up this and close this too. So it's 100 million things everywhere. There's that. The phone goes there. I think that's good enough. I don't need to put on the light. I think it's bright enough, and hopefully. So you have new light bulb, and I think it's huge, like it's more brighter than it was the other one, than the original one we had, which is good, I suppose. We give it a few minutes and then we start. So I have a bit set up and tonight, so at least that's a good thing. Hello, Fiona. You were wondering. I seen you. It was one of the Falmal videos. You were wondering. You looked up online about Joe Finnick and you couldn't find anything about him. Joe Finnick, as I said to you before, is not the best. I think I said it before. Not the best person, Joe Finnick. I think it was you, Anna, because I was just happened to look at the comments and happened to see it. When was that? Yesterday it was. I'm not too sure actually. See, there's that much I do every day. It's hard to remember what about. But hope we're doing well. Hope our Saturday's going well. Let me just refresh it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's basically just the local radio station here in Cavan Mullen. He's basically just a Fianna Fáil Fianna Gael shill. He's literally up their ass, basically. So Fianna Fáil Fianna Gael's house. He'd take up for them at anything, at any cost. The same as the Green Party too. If he went onto the radio station and said anything bad about Fianna, I'd be like, oh, no, they're not that bad. Great people and stuff like that. He wouldn't like me, Lindsay. But let me get a second up. Yeah, I think it's bright enough. I'm just going. Like, it's not as sunny as it was now. It's very overcast, but you can see me well and stuff like that, which is good. Too bad it's not the whole windows at the hotel. They were great. There's just, I suppose, not even the windows at the hotel. I don't know talking about, because it was that bright, because obviously the midnight sun in Finland, it's just that bright that the light just comes in through them anyway, because it's just extremely bright. So that's why literally every video I took in the hotel, etc., was great quality, because it was just that bright. Not like there was extremely bright, on another level of brightness. We give it another minute or two, and then we get started on a few things. I know, again, a few minutes late, so apologies about that. We'll probably be here to 7:30 or so, anyway. Give or take, yeah, I say so. We might go do a bit of game in the Tingle Police Simulator. We see how we get on. We might do an hour or so later on tonight. We see how we go. I can't say for certain, but we see how we get. So yeah. Maybe we won't. Maybe I don't know. We see. We might do it tomorrow, even maybe tomorrow night. That could be a better idea than tonight. Yeah, it might be better. So maybe that's the play. Now, hopefully that the first bit of the Finland video hopefully will be out either later on today or tomorrow. At the first part, but not the whole lot of the footage, but the first part will be out. Hopefully again tomorrow or later on this evening. We'll see how we get on. And if not Monday, by Monday or so. Yeah, so that'd be good enough, yeah, because I wouldn't want to putting too much out, I suppose. So I suppose we get started. We might as well get right into it. Give me a second now. Where am I here? So I'm sure everybody has seen this egregious miscarriage of justice, and this scumbag is the right word to use. Um, evil person. Um, this cattle quality fellow. Um, and the worst part of it all, literally beats a woman unconscious, gets a fully suspended sentence, and you might be saying, what else did he get? Did he get probation or whatever? He only has to pay €3,000 to this poor woman that he knocked unconscious and could have killed, to be totally honest. Only €3,000 has to pay in a fine. And the worst thing about it all, and this is the worst, to add on to the worst bit of it, there's actually two worst things, even though the whole situation is very bad, let's put it that way. He boasted about it on social media, so he was laughing about it on social media, basically, that he bet this woman up. Unprovoked to get on the street, didn't even know the woman. And then he lied. He lied saying it was her fault originally, and then the CCTV showed that it wasn't her that didn't stick it. He attacked her. And then the worst thing about it is, and this is the worst part about it, was the purpose of a court and a judge, etc., etc. You're supposed to face judges, folks to face justice for your actions. And now this judge, to be totally honest, the judge should be going to prison along with this fellow. To be totally honest, because literally the judge, I don't know if it says it here. Yeah, like this, Judge Thomas would do, which Mr. O'Brien well and asked her if she understood the significance of Godly's plea. Like more or less saying what he pleaded guilty. There's no need to do anything else. Basically lecturing the poor woman that was bed up. Literally lecturing. That's literally what the judge was doing, lecturing the victim, not the attacker, even though there's mountains of evidence, like every evidence on the sun that the person did it, this quadrifowl did it. And basically saying he pled guilty, and basically the long story short, he was more worried about the person that attacked this woman, about his career being ended in the Feds force if he was convicted. So it's just extraordinary. This judge, I don't know how he became a judge. He must be some Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael judge, because to be totally honest, this is criminal what this judge has done. It's generally criminal, and he should be going to prison himself for a very long time, along with this evil bastard. Hello, Shawnee. You highlighted me. Hello, Gordon. How are we doing? But no, it's criminal. Like this is literally criminal. Like I'm sure we all would agree, especially for this is the worst part of it all too. For somebody that's supposed to be protecting protecting the Irish people, serving the Irish people, remember the Feds force, for him to turn around and do something so egregious like this. And there's the fact of the matter that he's still into the Feds forces too is very argumentative. Why he's still there? He should have been kicked out of it as soon as it happened. And he's still there, so it's insane. I know they're trying to get rid of him at the moment, but long story short, he shouldn't be. He should have been kicked out of it as soon as it happened. Yeah, like there's many key parts of this, and in fact, the most part of it all is when they went to the judge was lecturing the victim about it. And I've never seen the likes of it. Oh, I know there's other. Excuse me. There's other assaults and stuff going on, of course, in the country. But it's the fact of the matter that it went up to I'm sure you would agree, Sean. This is egregious. Like for a judge to come along and basically take the side of the person who bet up this woman, and it could have killed him, again, knocking him unconscious and stuff like that. And when after 2 years of waiting for, like, I can't imagine what this poor woman has to go through, facing 2 years of bringing her to the court, and then the judge basically tells her, I don't care. Pretty much what he literally said to her, that I'm more worried about his career under the Feds forces, and especially because he showed no remorse. Like he's not probably laughing basically the person that did it. Oh, I get what you're saying, yeah, but still, at the end of the day, I think people I look at it like what I'm trying to say is every assault is vicious and should be prosecuted. If that makes sense. If that makes any sense. I know what you're saying about with somebody from another country done it. There'd be radio silence, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who hits anybody. If somebody hits, especially a woman or a child, take for example, if somebody hits a woman on the street or a child unprovoked, or even if they did do it unprovoked, if they did do it provoked or whatever, you shouldn't do that. Even if you hit another man, you shouldn't resort to violence, etc., etc. And there's laws for that, and there's reasons why there's prison and etc., etc. Because it's not acceptable for people to go around beating people unconscious on the street, regardless of who you are. You should go to prison, and especially this. And again, being a sub member of the Irish Defence Forces, you should be facing a military tribunal more than a civilian court, to be totally honest. And to be totally honest with you, where he should be sent if he wants to beat up women, etc., etc., he should be sent to the Ukraine if he wants to go and he can fight there if he wishes to fight people, to be totally honest. Because to be totally honest, if he went to the Ukraine, he would hide in the corner and wouldn't fight at all. That's where he should be sent. That's what I'm just saying. But this is what I'm trying to say is, and he's still in the defence forces. It's a very bad example, and not even that. This is the part that I don't like. It sets an example to even people from not from Ireland or even people from Ireland, young men, etc., etc., who are just angry at the world, etc., etc. It sets a precedent. If this he had done it and got off with it, basically he did. He only paid 3,000. That's basically his only punishment. And he's still at the moment. He might not be even kicked out of the defence force. He could be still there. And that's the worst thing about it. He should have lost his job instantaneously. And the fact of the matter, when he was caught by Garda Síochána, when he was caught for the assault, originally, he said it was her that provoked him, and then obviously CCTV footage came out, like showing that he literally done it unprovoked. Like basically, she said nothing to me. He went up and done it to her. For whatever reason, why he did it, it's totally unacceptable. It is generally totally unacceptable. And it's just, and I think this is the epitome too of what the Irish justice system has turned into. That people who do these things get off with it, basically, and it's not acceptable. Yeah, but I would need to say for this assault to be totally and to be totally on, the judge should be joining them in prison too. He should be joining them too because it is criminal just letting this person walk the streets. Yeah, I seen that too on a bus, a Dublin bus. But regardless, what I'm trying to say is, regardless of who it is, the book should be thrown at them. As simple as that. And if they're not from the country, straight on the plane, goodbye. That'll be it. That's the way it should be. But in this case, particularly, as I say, long prison. So, like I'm talking about 20 to 40 years in prison. Like he should be in his 80s or 70s by the time he gets out. But that it doesn't look like maybe there will be a appeal. There probably will be, of course, there probably should be a appeal because it's a totally miscarriage of justice at the highest level. And then Judge Nolan too in the High Court letting paedophiles off, etc. It's just not like it raises a question about the legal system of this country that people to do these things get offered because it's not acceptable in society that people get offered. Hello, everyone. I'm going on the rant. And particularly again, as a member of Garda Síochána or a member of the Defence Forces, you have a higher preceptor. You're supposed to represent the state. You're supposed to defend the state. You're supposed to defend the nation. And to turn around and do that, you're on a higher level. Now, he should have been brought to military tribunal more than the civilian court because it would have been faced more harsher, and it should have been. But what I would have done. And again, you wouldn't be allowed to do it in this country, unfortunately. But I would have sent them off to the Ukraine, and he would have been able to volunteer for the Ukrainian army, and he could fight the Russians and stuff like that. But again, he would just run and hide somewhere. He would want to attack and defend this woman that couldn't defend herself, etc., etc. But he wouldn't fight somebody that had a gun, and he had a gun. He wouldn't do it. He won away. And Eli Buck, for example, too, even though it's a contempt of court, etc., but it's a bit over the top sending them for this long because again, he's not going to approach his contempt. So I don't know what more do they want because he's there that long now. He won't approach his contempt. I know it's wrong. He should have probably it's contempt of court. That's what he's really in on. But at the end of the day, send them for years in prison for contempt of court is a bit over the top. Let's put it that way. But still, to be totally honest with you, compared to contempt of court, etc., etc., like that place in Mountjoy prison, this is where he should be, to be totally honest, because this is an offence that you should be sent to prison for. beating the woman unconscious. Again, he could have killed her. She thought she was going to die, the victim. Like somebody just beating you, and especially knocking you unconscious too, again. And then obviously the nightmares, the stress of it. You'd probably be afraid to walk the streets at any time of the day if something like that happened to you. Like, you think about yourself. If you were walking down your local town, your local village, and somebody that you didn't even know and literally didn't even say boo to comes along and just beats the living daylights on the end of the street. I'm sure after you recover, etc., etc., and you go back to normal, you try and go back to normal, because there's the way you know getting back to normal after something like that. You'd be afraid to go anywhere. Like, you generally would be afraid to do this, go anywhere. But I think the worst, and I know we keep going on about it, but there's something that does need to be called out and said, because it's unacceptable. I'm just thinking, if I had a daughter, take for example, or a wife, take for example, and she was, again, we all should take into account this. That is not acceptable, because that's somebody's daughter, somebody's a girlfriend, take for example, etc., etc., and it's not acceptable. And especially because, as I said earlier on, the worst thing about it sets a precedent. So some young lad now could see that and say, I can actually go up and beat some woman to the living daylights of her in Cavan Town, take for example. Some young lad would say that because he got off with it, I can get off with it. And basically sets a bad precedent. Because it does send out a message, basically, that if you do this, you could get off with it too, basically. And that's the bad message of it all. Because the meaning of justice, etc., etc., you face justice. You face hard time in prison, etc., etc. It's not acceptable that's the message that's going out. And particularly this Judge Thomas, like, to be totally honest, he should be, because it just, and again, the fellow in the High Court too should be going to prison for a very long time for letting paedophiles, etc., off. Well, they shouldn't. He should have lost Judge Thomas doing it. Like, I don't know what kind of a stupid fucker he is, to be honest. That's the word use that we do, because he's more worried about the person that literally bet up this woman, and he's more worried about his career than the woman that had to go through 2 years of suffering to get this to court, just to get it to court. And then the judge literally lectures him about he pled guilty, etc., etc. It's insane. It's insane. And then if you didn't, this is the worst thing. There was a woman in Donegal that was sent to prison for not paying a TV license, and the judge nearly fucking went through it for a shortcut for not paying a TV license. And that's the thing. That's the worst thing about the justice system. If you didn't pay your TV license, you go to prison. If you stole a box of matches in the shop, you go to prison. But if you beat somebody unconscious on the street, you get off with it. That's literally the message this country is. If you didn't pay your TV license, you go to prison. Because there's many instances of people going to prison for not paying their TV license. And then when you literally beat the living daylights out of somebody on the street, you don't go to prison. It's not a just system. It's not a fair system. And it's not right. It's totally not right. Because it doesn't justify sending somebody to prison for a TV license. You can find them, obviously, but you can even make them do community service, maybe. But sending them to prison for a few months is not, compared to this, it doesn't even hold any weight at all. But no, it does happen. There's domestic violence. I came across many, a lot of young men, particularly now, they're very angry within themselves, etc. And I do admit this, but because there's a lot of domestic violence going on in the country, there's a lot going on behind the scenes of every house. Like, I could take 3 or 4 in Cavan that I've heard of, and they're young Irish men. They're not probably in their 20s, 30s, and they're hitting their girlfriends, they're hitting their wives, they're taking their money and controlling them in that way. It's happening. It is happening. But a lot of young Irish men too are very angry. They are very angry. It's the same with even people that are not from Ireland. But it is happening. It does happen. Because again, I've heard of cases, and I've known 1 or 2 women that I know of that have experienced that. But yeah, no. Again, there is a problem with people coming into the country, of course, too. But what I'm trying to say, regardless of who it is, or anything, that the book should be thrown at you, basically. And if you're not supposed to be here and you commit a crime like that, onto the boat, goodbye, or onto the plane, goodbye, and never come back. But again, he's an Irish citizen. He is a member of the Defence Forces. Everything and the kitchen table should be thrown at him. As I say, 40 years, 50 years at most in prison. He should be dishonorably discharged from the Defence Forces straight away. He shouldn't have took this long and be discharged from the Defence Forces. So even if he did get out early, into that any country was going to emigrate or say any job, that'd be on his record that he was dishonorably discharged from the defence forces. Uh, you know, um, but no, I'm not happy about this, and I don't think anybody in the country should be happy, because again, at the end of the day, this sets the precedent that these things can happen and people can get off with, and every citizen of the country should be up in arms about this, because again, it could happen to you, it could happen to your daughter, and again, I don't want to scaremonger, but it is the truth. If it can happen here, it can happen in this case. It can happen here in Cavan, take for example, to a young woman, a young daughter that'd be bet up in the street, and there'd be nothing done about it. As in this case, you get pocket money, basically, as the victim said. It's the same with the man that literally went around with a machete in Cavan. Not even a machete, a meat cleaver. He got only, what was it, 11 months in prison. He'd be soon out. Like, it sets a bad precedent that people can run around with a machete, like a meat cleaver around and chase people around the streets. That doesn't set a good precedent too. That basically he got off with it, but he's only going to be out in 11 months. You know, again, that's the point of making that long prison sentences should be imposed. Yeah, like there's some dangerous people being let into the country. I'm not denying that. I'm sure everybody can agree on that. But there's a lot of Irish people that are full of hate, particularly young people, because it is happening too. And I say, especially with domestic violence, etc., etc., this is true that it is happening. We can't be blind to see that, I suppose, too. Yeah, like you need to learn how to defend yourself. But obviously, in this case, take for example, she probably didn't even see it coming. I don't think anybody that was probably even around her seen it coming. He just randomly snapped this fella in this case, and it does seem because it wasn't like an argument on the street. He just snapped and started hitting him. Like nobody would be prepared. The same if I was on the street now and I was walking down minding my own business, right? You know, and I was just minding my own business, looking at my phone or whatever, walking down the street, and somebody behind me just randomly snaps and starts hitting you from behind the back of the head, etc., etc. Nobody would be prepared for that. It'd be different if you were in a confrontation, say, with somebody that was trying to rob you or something like that. You have time to react, etc., etc. But if somebody hits them in the back of the head, etc., there's no way to defend yourself because they catch you to disadvantage or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like people do need, and I'd be totally honest, women should be nearly allowed to carry pepper spray, like not pepper spray, but like it would be pepper spray. It should be really allowed. But it's the fact of the matter, and again, I keep saying this, like in Helsinki in Finland, and again, this is a perfect example, that it's totally safe for you to leave your child outside in the capital city in a cafe. It's totally in the child there. And it should be the same here in this country. It really, really should, that you're allowed to leave your child basically outside in a pram on a busy street in Helsinki, and nobody would go near or touch your child. And the same with even in the suburbs and things like that. There's children out playing. And even people leave the doors unlocked and stuff like that in houses, etc. Because there's huge trust in society. People trust each other. And it should be the same here. But again, the reason why, because there's huge sentences. People that have caused huge trouble in Finland never let out. There's only 4,000 people in prison in Finland because you won't see the light of day if you cause that kind of trouble. So, but that's the way it should be. There should be huge fear of what could happen if you commit these crimes. It's the fact of the matter, people don't fear the justice system in this country. People laugh at it because it's that pitiful. And that's the thing. It was all right, but that's the point of it. We should be the same as Finland and Norway, take for example, and Denmark, that you can walk the street safely. The women don't have to be afraid walking. As I said, I went down the Connor Street before I left to go to Finland, and I was more afraid on the Connor Street, on the National Street, and the people where people died over 100 years ago to secure this country's freedom. I was more afraid to walk down that and Grafton Street, and an Irish citizen as a man too. Just to put it straight, I wouldn't walk down it at night. I wouldn't walk down it during. I felt in danger to walking down during the day, and just to say, because it's that you can tell by the characters that's around and not the people you want to be interacting with or spending much time around. Very shifty looking people. And again, there's gangs of them. There's 2 or 3 of them. There's more than one. And if it's one-on-one, you have a chat. But if there's, like as you see in many cases in Dublin, there's 6 or 7 of them, and they gang up on one person. There's no hope in fighting back against 6 or 7 people beating you up from each angle. It's different if it's one-on-one. And particularly nowadays, there's not really fair fights because people just pull a knife and stab you. And that's just the thing, if there was. If there was a fight in the street, etc., etc. But I keep saying it anyway. We should be like Helsinki and stuff like that, where people can walk the streets safely. As I said, I was out at 5 o'clock in the morning. Was fight at one stage in Helsinki. Didn't have to worry about anybody robbing me, etc., etc. Like it was trust, this huge trust in society. That's what I'm trying to say, and it should be here. Like it shouldn't be any different to here, because that's the way it should be in every Western democracy. That you're safe to walk the streets. Your children are safe. Nothing like that can happen. And it goes down again as to say the justice system is not so strong enough here, and people don't fear the law. People laugh at the law nowadays, and particularly as I say. That's what it's turned into, unfortunately. But no, as I say, I'm sure everybody's not very happy to hear about this situation because it can happen to anybody in this country. And the judge will lecture the person that was attacked. It's a huge miscarriage of justice. And I hope she does sue the state too, along with the person that attacked her. And probably should sue that judge too, to be totally honest, because he should be sued for nearly for everything he owns. That judge too, along with the person that attacked this woman, like every cent he owns, to be totally honest. But I'm sure everybody agrees it's totally unacceptable for that to happen. Not only for that to happen, but then for go to court and basically be let off, and it's totally unacceptable. So in every incident, this is totally unacceptable, and it's totally unacceptable. This is the thing that annoys me too, that he's still in the defence forces. He's still getting a wage of taking the defence forces, and these are supposed to be the best of the best that we have in the state, the people that represent Ireland, to defend Ireland, etc., etc. And these are the people that we send in the defence forces. It's a huge question as to why this fellow was allowed in the defence force. I know he didn't have a criminal record before. But if he was mentally unstable or whatever the story I'm sure the defence forces must have had an idea or something if he was mentally unstable. Because there must be something not right with him. Because it must be some kind of thing going on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we should send him to Ukraine, to be told and say, if he wants to go and fight, But he won't go and fight. Again, these people would attack defenseless women on the street, etc., etc. They'll take the big men that can beat up women, etc. So there's no to them about. But then when you say to them, go over and fight in the war, the cavan fear, etc., etc. And the same, he wouldn't attack it. He wouldn't attack another member of the defence forces because they probably would break his skull in. Basically, let's put it that way. He wouldn't attack another man in the street because that man actually could probably defend himself and send him into the next century, basically. But again, that's the fact that he picked on a woman that was minding her own business, etc., etc. If you want to go and fight somebody, you go and fight either the police or go and fight in the defence forces. You shouldn't be picking on innocent women and children, etc., etc. Now, we're not children, but in any circumstance, no woman should be hit in any circumstance, unless the woman hits you first, then you can maybe try and subdue her, I suppose, in a way, not try and beat her up or anything like that, but that's the way it should be. But anyway, again, we've been on it for a long time. But again, I just wanted to give my view on it because it's something that it's far too common in this country that people just get off with these things. It's the same with domestic violence. These people get off with it all the time, beating up their wives, etc. It's insane what's allowed to go on in this country. So you've probably seen this. I hate these fucking news websites in this country. Regularly. So Ireland's the second most expensive country for goods and services, with a price of 42% higher than average. So I'm sure everybody has noticed that when they go to the supermarket, things are a lot more expensive. And again, the only country that really is higher than us is Denmark. But again, you have to remember in Denmark, people have good jobs, get good money, etc., etc. So it's understandable. If people have a good life, etc., etc. in Denmark. The prices of stuff will be the same as their wages, basically. It's the same in Scandinavia, things like Finland and stuff like that. I think you said, like hotels and stuff. Irish restaurants, hotel prices, only behind Denmark. And so basically, Irish restaurants are nearly dearest than Finland and stuff like that. And just to say, an only cup of tea in Finland, because obviously been somebody there, it was nearly €4 something, nearly €5 for an only cup of tea in Finland. I know it's not so much of when you can get free water, but in Denmark you pay €6 for tap water. It's quite insane. And then a bag of crisps is nearly four something in Finland too, if you bought it in a restaurant or something like that. It's quite expensive, but again, Irish restaurants are nearly as bad, to be totally honest. But again, these are the Scandinavian countries that would be expensive anyway. But Ireland's nearly as worse as the whole lot of it combined, basically, for everything. Which shouldn't be the case because, again, we are on paper. But again, I was watching a video earlier on. All the money in this country nearly goes to the NGOs. There's billions going to NGOs, and it's not going to the only taxpayer. As you see, again, the Irish government just do not give a shit about the Irish people. Like they're basically just forcing people to move away. That's literally what they're doing. Yeah, every week, and again, there's nothing to really stop it. Yeah, I think it went up a while ago, a few weeks ago, the petrol, diesel, I think. Yeah, it was not as bad as Finland. I can't remember how much brown bread and stuff in shops. It wasn't really in shops that much, but it was dear enough, and milk was dear enough. But you have to remember, people own more money in Finland than they do here, so it makes sense. Like the people in Finland, like take for example a cup of tea in a restaurant, for something nearly €5. That's nothing in Finland. They wouldn't, because they have that much money. They don't really pass much remarks. For tea, yeah. But that's what you pay in Scandinavia, just to say. That's what not Scandinavia is always a Nordic country. Scandinavia is Sweden, Denmark, and Norway, and probably Iceland too. You wouldn't count the Scandinavian country, even though people classify it as Scandinavia. It's supposed to be really a Nordic country. But I'm just saying that again. But you can kind of see where the point of the matter is. All this money, all these foods and stuff, apart from milk and maybe the basic essentials, you're paying tax to the government. The government are taxing this tax on this. And that's going to the government. So where's all this money that we're paying, like a huge amount extra in taxes, etc., etc.? Where's all this money going to in taxes? Because obviously the supermarkets too have to pay tax to the government. So where's all this billion? This is the question that the Irish Independent were asking. Where's all the money going to? That's collected in tax, etc., etc., on these products. Because I tell you what it's going to. It's going to NGOs. That's where it's going to. It's going to these fucking NGOs that are doing fuck all, basically. Like there's a good video on YouTube explaining. I probably should put it on my community tab, but it literally is, and it's going to fucking most meaningless things imaginable. It's going to the politicians too, but it's not going to the common man or the common woman on the street. That's the moment I'm trying to say. It'd be different if it's going to the greater benefit of society, but it's basically there's no money going to anything, and people still can't afford to buy. Basically, it's just a robbery. This country, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. It's just the fucking biggest scam in the world. This country. Like we're worse than any India in this stage. This level of scamming, and it's the government that's scamming people, along with many other things I could say. But it's insane. Where am I here? So I'm sure people know a whole lot about this. So this is relating to Leo Varadkar when he leaked the document to his friend back in 2020. So the High Court has ruled that the SIPTO, the standards in public, like the standards in public office, basically for council or TD, that's they hold you to account technically. They decided not to investigate Leo Varadkar for sharing the contract. I'm sure people remember to his friend Paul Murphy. In fairness, made a complaint, and SIPTO has come out and said that it wasn't really properly investigated, etc., etc. But we all know nothing will be done, even when it's investigated. It's all under the table business, burn envelopes, etc. Look the other way, pretend you didn't see anything. So nothing's going to come off it. But long story short, the fact that SIPTO did not bother to even investigate it, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. Just go show you. Yeah, but there's not even that. There's no like money lasted long years ago, but it's not that the money that's been paid in tax, etc. Where's all that going? Like, where is it going? Like you should if it's things so expensive, like the deal in Scandinavia and Finland, etc., etc. And not so much. Um, you pay high taxes, but you can go to college for free. Take for example, you can go and do your university degrees, etc., for free. Because if you pay high taxes, that's where the money goes to, and it goes to free university, free healthcare. Take for example, good quality public services, etc., etc. You can see where the money goes to. I can see in Finland where the money goes to, even though you pay high taxes. I can generally see where it goes. The money. Um, yeah, I can see where that public funding goes to. And over here, I don't know where the money goes to. After the end of the week, after my taxes, like my money after my job is paid, I don't know where that money goes to. You know, sorry, I'm saying, like it doesn't go to anybody basically. Nice, but yeah, but not even that. Like even Finland uses the euro, but you can see where the money, like it's free university, healthcare, and everybody can go to college, etc., etc. Like over here, I don't know where the money goes to. Basically, it goes to NGOs, etc., etc. You know, because it doesn't go to the common person. Like you can see where and obviously the public transport too, and how Helsinki takes up billions of euro. Like you can see where the public money's going. Because I don't know, like that's the point of me. I don't know where the money goes to here. Because the government collects huge amount of money in revenue, etc. So it's insane amount of money they collect in revenue. Um, I don't know where all that money goes to because it doesn't go to what we should be going to. So unfortunately, we were talking about the EU migration pact. So they're scheduling it for the dawn Tuesday coming up. This Tuesday coming at 6:50. So it seems like they're going to try and ram it through. I don't know what stopped them. I think it was because they didn't have the numbers. But unfortunately, it does seem like it's probably going to go because I think the High Court said one of the High Court judges said about that like the barrister woman. I can never think of her name, but you know who I'm talking about. And then there was another challenge too that it wasn't probably the documents that were sent into the High Court wasn't properly done. Um, saying that etc. That's what they said, but we all probably know that the government probably said to them to drop it. And not have an issue over it because again, the probably would have to be a referendum on, and the government don't want that because the probably would be sent home. Uh, the sheer amount of no votes to be just knocked into next century, and probably would bring down the government too because it'd be that big of a defeat. Um, so they don't want democracy, obviously, but unfortunately, it does seem to be unless some Fianna Gael TDs stand up and say no, because as I said, during COVID and stuff like that, I contacted my TDs and said to them the vote no against the COVID legislation. None of them would stand up, and these are Fianna Fáil Fine Gael. None of them would stand up and say you're the one stand up against their own party, basically. So it's a sad reality, but because the unfortunate reality is because so many people said they emailed their TDs, etc., and senators, even though it's good just to put pressure on them to let them know people are not happy that they're voting a different way. And obviously, I do admire Tracy Manley; she's doing great work. Only for her, I suppose, we wouldn't be as far on giving us advice, etc., etc. She's really good at that. So we do have to give Tracy Matty great credit on that. But just not even that, just even putting up this just to inform people, because again, the government don't want to have big publicity about it. They want to kind of keep it as quiet as humanly possible, so people don't take notice. They're hoping that the only Joe doesn't notice and start looking into it, if that makes any sense. But long story short, the sad reality is the TDs that wouldn't Fianna Fáil even though they could, in their head, maybe go against it. But in reality, the vote no. Simple as that. The vote no to be kicked out of the party and ostracized, etc. The vote do it. Simple as that. They're too afraid to do it. So, like Willie O'Deed, I'm expecting Willie O'Deed. Willie O'Deed should probably stand up and say no, but he won't because he'd be too afraid to lose his position in Fianna Fáil. That's the thing. Was he said about the EU migration pact. He's talked about the hate speech. But whenever the hate speech comes, they won't do it before this next government. If they do it, they're just going to be obliterated in the next election. They are going to be obliterated anyway, but, that's just it. Don't you? Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I'll be back with you in a second. sorry. But yeah, just to let you know, so we'll probably be live maybe Tuesday to see what happens. But the migration pack, we'll see. But it's probably weird if there's no huge thing like Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael stand up against some of them, even if one or two of them did and said they wouldn't do it. The government might just fold, But the fact of the matter is, if that doesn't happen, then nothing really is going to stop it from passing. Because unless the president has an issue with it, the Supreme Court. But again, they're all in the pocket of the government. None of them are going to say no. I don't know. Oh, Jesus, I have it. So obviously, with the recent council elections, etc., there has to be new Cathaoirleachs, etc., appointed to different councils, and obviously, Cavan's no different. So we have a new Cathaoirleach, obviously, Fianna Gael fellow, TP O'Reilly. So obviously, Damien Brady Cathaoirleach in the last council election. So for the moment, next year, he is the Cathaoirleach to Cavan County Council, like the overall Cathaoirleach. Obviously, there's the municipality Cathaoirleachs are shown in a second. But that's basically it. Just inform me. I don't get much to say about it. But there's some good news, but which is good. That Sarah Wiley, typically Sarah Wiley of N2, got reappointment. She was Cathaoirleach back in. She was overall Cathaoirleach back when Cavan Day 4 started in 2020 during the lockdowns, etc. So it's great to see her back. Like only as the municipality now with the Beltober, not the overall one, just to say. But I still never forget the Cavan Day, hoping on Northern Sound, etc. It was very confused about why Cavan Day was trending number one over here. And obviously you have Councillor Shane P. O'Reilly, sorry, I couldn't think that for a second. Independent Ireland, just to say, sorry. For the Ballygym stuff. Then obviously my area, Patricia Watch, the Cavan Beltober area. So just to inform people of this. So obviously I don't know. Is this ready here to turn off? Fucking too warm in this feckin' house. It's probably a good complaint, isn't it? Now, so the council had the monthly, the meeting back. When was it? Friday. Yesterday, sorry. Now they're looking to get e-scooter kind of rental scheme. Like they have this in Finland. It's all the great in Scandinavia. But the thing about Finland and the thing about Scandinavia is they have their own parts and stuff like that. It's not just going to be on the side of roads or footpaths. They have special areas for e-scooters and bicycles, etc. Now, so they're saying about you pay rent an e-scooter or whatever. And they're saying the speed limit will be 20 kilometers. But again, the thing is, I've seen them on footpaths. Now they're banned off footpaths, which is good because they were dangerous on footpaths. Now, there's no enforcement. These rules will not be enforced, just to say, because on God, Sheena Colin nowhere to be found when it comes to this. They get it hard to enforce the basic rules. Society let none of these. Like, they are dangerous, yokes, e-scooters and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be that in favour of it around Cavan. Like, what we really should have and what should have been done back in the day. And again, it would cost millions. I know. I've been told this many times. We should have had trams like going around the town, etc. It would have been a lot better. But that was never thought of back in the day, unfortunately. But it should have been thought of because it would have been a lot better than these scooters and stuff like that, and better for elderly people, etc. Yeah. So I don't know what to say, but it's going to take a long time before this ever gets up and going. Like it's going to, we're talking another 3 or 4 years and before that gets started. I know. This is just talking about it initially. Yeah, because as they say, they give no time frame, and I looked at it myself too. But I don't know. Because again, the majority of people, it's more young people that use these scooters, not so much elderly people, etc. And not even that, we have bike lanes in Cavan and nobody uses them. Nobody uses them. I could literally go out to near St. Pat's College in Cavan down now and stay there all day and video it. And you're probably going to see one or two people using the bicycle lane that they spend millions on. Yes. But me going off my the tangents. Oh, I always go off. He's a waste. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I just rather walk if it's in walkable distance. Yeah. Um, but no, it is the crazy scale. Like in Finland, there's huge e-scooters and stuff. There's public e-scooters you can rent like this. But I wouldn't walk here. I don't think. Maybe it would. There'd be some people that would, but it depends, I suppose, on the price. But it's not that the infrastructure is not here. It never was designed to be that. If anything, and again, this is the thing we should do in Cavan. I know it costs millions. I know that before anybody says that. Like we should have like a tram or two trams going around the town and bringing people around the town. But you have to dig up the whole roads, etc. It'd be just too much of a nuisance. But that's what we should do. So we take a bit of further for a second. We have another thing to talk. Not a few things to talk about. Now, like they offer dangerous jokes. I'd rather have a bicycle. Like even I have electric bicycles. I'd rather have that. I wouldn't be the fond of e-scooters. They seem to be quite dangerous to me more than the bicycle. But maybe I'm just too old-fashioned. But they are the whole huge craze in Scandinavia. If I would have been showing you on the street, like if I ever do go back to Finland, of course, I'm going to live stream on the street, so etc. etc. See, the problem I had, and again, I wanted to do loads of live streams in Finland, but I didn't know how mobile data would work, etc. etc. over there. Because again, it was my first time ever leaving the States, so I wouldn't know how it really worked. But now I have an idea, so I would be able to live stream a bit more on the street, etc. If I go back to the house, can you see it yourself? But they have designated areas for people to use e-scooters, etc., etc. Like it's all well designed. Over here, it'd be just chaos. That's what even if they did, because it is just generally chaos. But thankfully, they're not allowed to be on the footpath now here. But I was nearly knocked out several times with them. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've things to show you. Remind me to show you now in a second. Is this time ready here going off? Better fucking soon go off because I'm gonna die of the heat. So yeah. So anything anybody want to talk about just before we move on to anything else? I'm just having a breather because I did talk a lot. Yeah, I find my throat at me a bit. But I can still talk, of course. But probably try and rest the vocal cords a bit. Yeah, like in Finland too, not so much now, you just get tea. Over there, there's green tea. They ask you what green tea, do you want black tea, do you want this tea, do you want the other. There's about 6 or 7 different types of tea. So every time I wanted a tea, I always had to say black tea and stuff like that. And it wouldn't be like a tea bag. It'd be like it's weird to describe, but it wouldn't be tea bag basically. Oh yeah, I know there's some meeting. I don't know much about it. I haven't been paying much attention to be totally honest with you. Yeah, like I've seen what happened. I haven't paid much attention to be honest. When it was happening originally, I was over in Finland and I only seen brief stuff. Like what's going on at the moment? Do you mind informing me? Because I haven't. I know a bit. I don't know much about it. Not as much as when I was here. Like I know about Ungarish and kind of at the usual. But what's the story now? Like I know there was a public meeting. I think it was the other day. See, there's just too much stuff to try and keep catch up nowadays. Um. Oh yeah, so that was in that area. I thought that was in Dublin, but like the girl that was attacked on the Dublin bus. I think. Are you talking about another one? Because there's that much stuff happening. That's how they keep it up. But I know there was a girl attacked on the Dublin bus. Um, yeah, separate instance. Yeah, I was taking some. I didn't hear about the other one. I heard about the one on the Dublin bus. I didn't hear about that one, but um, maybe I did. I see. There's that much stuff going on. It's hard to remember it all, but I do remember. I know about the one on the Dublin bus. I know about that. I don't know about the one that you're talking about specifically. See, because again, as I say, violence in this country just gone on another level. Not even just with foreigners and stuff, but even just with Irish people themselves beating each other up. It's quite insane. Um, I don't know about tasers. I definitely pepper spray should be allowed. It's not allowed here. But definitely, I don't think tasers should be allowed. I think only on God and Connor should have it. Pepper spray, I'd be more in favour for women to have it in their handbag or wherever they want, like somewhere they can get it. I don't mind so much pepper spray. It's more tasers that I wouldn't be too fond of having around. But definitely pepper spray should work because loads of women want it to be legalized. Um, but definitely that's what it should be. It should be pepper spray should be allowed. Um, yeah, yeah. We move on to a few things now in a second. Just give me 2 seconds. We're a bit. We should look and know. I suppose to know how we me moving anywhere for the moment. Um, uh, bum bum. So yeah, I don't trust the Gaudi in general. The Gaudi's already. I don't trust them even in the town. To be totally honest, I've lost a lot of respect for God. I will make that video eventually, talking about why I've lost a huge amount of faith in God and Connor. But don't look favourably on what I should have called him nowadays. I wouldn't really go to them unless I really, really had to nowadays about stuff. Like I just wouldn't talk to any of them at all to be honest, unless it was really forced to be done on them nowadays. Uh, so yeah, we're going to talk for a second about the True Finns again. I know everybody's upset and you keep on about the True Finns, but it's quite shocking what the leader of the True Finns came out and said the other day. So Lai Anderson done an interview and stuff like that, but it has been talked about in the Finnish media. Now obviously it's all Finnish, so this is just translated. But there's articles and stuff about it. So she said this: the leader of the True Finns. So this is the deputy prime minister in Finland, she's very nice. She's the deputy prime minister. Said empathy doesn't belong in politics. So basically, if somebody's after being mugged in the street, she has no sympathy. Basically, the leader, the deputy prime minister of Finland, basically has said empathy does not belong in politics. Basically, if you feel sorry for somebody or somebody's in a desperate situation, because again, you have to feel empathy for people. You have to feel sorry for people. You have to feel hurt for people, etc. Too. Especially if you're in a political office too, you should feel empathy towards your fellow citizen if they're experiencing a hard time, etc., etc. And that's to be told, it just goes to show you, like the True Finns, they don't care about anybody, especially when you hear that kind of stuff. They have no empathy. Does not belong in politics, etc., etc. But you do have to, because to be totally honest, to have empathy, that you have feelings and stuff like that. You do have emotions and feelings. Because to be totally honest, being a politician, you can't be just a brick wall, and show no emotion, show no expression. You do have to have feelings. Again, that's how you form opinions too, is your emotions and your feelings. That's how you inform your opinion, your views in the world, etc. So you need to have empathy. You need to have views in the world. You need to really feel something to have a good, have an opinion on something to view. You can't be just like a brick wall and have no emotion, etc., etc. But yeah, so this is what she said the other day, because so just like Anderson's talking about at the moment, but actually, like Anderson said, it does belong in politics. That's just the truth for you. That's the deputy prime minister in Finland. No, we don't want empathy for people. We don't care if somebody's struggling. We don't want empathy. But that's just good. You can wonder why they're doing bad in the elections when they come out with that. Where is this? Invested in? Not that I know. Oh, you turned down, don't you? But I just thought that was I don't know what to make of that, because again, the Irish politicians are the same. They don't care, and that's basically what the true leader of the True Finns basically said. I don't care, which is not good enough. This heater gone off. Dying out a bit, thankfully. Sorry, but let's give me a second. Oh, yeah, I have to show you stuff. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we might not. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, I might have to show you the stuff now because I'm forgetting about it. I have to get the fridge magnets and stuff like that from the holiday. I meant to show you the other night. I was too up in the head about stuff and forgot about it. Give me a second. Oh, where is the thing now, sunshine? So in the letter, you were asking me about the letter too. If you, you were asking me about the letter. I got sent from Helsinki. So it was a nice letter from the city council in Helsinki. So very, very, very nice of them to send them, thanking me for coming, etc., etc. to Helsinki. Very nice of them to send it. And I got this too. They wanted me to put it here. Like the fellow from the city council in the letter basically said I could put it there. But I don't know. I think it would overestimate the vote behind. But that's what they got me. They got a nice kind of license plate for me. And they said about putting it somewhere on the wall here or something like that over there or something. I don't know about putting it on the wall. I can hang it somewhere over there, but I don't know about behind me, straight up behind me, like there. Or something up there, but not above it, obviously. We couldn't do that. But no, it's very nice of them. So I got that. That was said too, along with the letter, obviously too. I can't show the letter, unfortunately, because literally every government letter. This is the worst part for that. Where's that page? It's like every government letter I get, right? Just to say from any fucking country in the world. The same with the Prime Minister of Finland's one. I have a story to tell you about that too. I get through it eventually. I'll make a video explaining that. But every government letter I get. So this is the letter. Take example. Always at the top. My address is always at the top. Always at the top of every fucking letter. There's always my address at the top of the letter. Like it's just so annoying. We're having tea. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me, Lordy dog. Like me in Parliament and stuff having tea. But yeah, that's what I. It was very nice of them to send this. Yeah, I know, but it's a how news because it could end up probably knocking them down. But anyway, it basically just says thank you for coming. We hope to have you back soon, etc., etc. I know it's hard to beat the cup of tea, but that's basically what it was. It's not really, I probably could put a sticky note, but that's what it really says. But there's more of this that I was more delighted with, like the thing. So there you go. So that's a nice gift from the Helsinki City Council. That's black. So that's nice. I don't know, but see, I am going to get the room painted at some stage. Hopefully soon enough. I want to get it painted soon. Hopefully during the winter at some point. Because again, there is a lot of thumbtacks, etc., on the wall there, and it's a bit annoying. And I want to get the room painted because it is kind of just thing. So hopefully after that, maybe I can sort out stuff and arrange stuff then. But that's what I got basically. So I just wanted to show that because I meant to show you the other day and I completely forgot. But I put up the envelope and stuff like that. So yeah, I get the magnets now in a second. Where am I now? Sorry. Yeah, I need to get the magnets. Is there anything else I forgot? Not that I know of. I have to get the magnets, so give me 2 seconds. Wait a second. Yeah, sure. But that was it, yeah. That was really all that was on the left. It was nice of them to send it and then that too. I wasn't expecting the yoke. So yeah, give me 2 seconds. I'll just mute my microphone for 2 seconds. No, sorry about that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. So you've seen this one before. This one on the community post. It's nice homemade one. Fridge magnets, the stones and stuff on the top there. All handcrafted too, as you can see. The things handcrafted, all the signs and stuff. I showed that on the community post. I don't know if people seen it. There was another one, but I can't remember what it. But then we got this one, moose. These fridge magnets. I think this one's pretty cool. But I think this one's pretty cool because it's big, huge glass and stuff like that. That's good. Then obviously we got a Moomin kind of fridge magnet and stuff. The Node, of course, yes. I think this one's the coolest, but though it's a Node back in the 50s or 60s. That was like you could do the old tram and stuff back in the day. I think it's the 60s. I think it says the 60s, yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah, the late 60s, 65 or something like 66. Yeah. So, just wanted to show you that. I think that one's pretty cool. This one, I should have got another one of these. There was older ones there. I probably should have got it. Anyway, 2 minutes. Sorry again. Hello. Some Romanian heritage. What? Why? How so? I don't think so. Because she talked before. No, this is a good while back. Yeah, because it's a few years back. She talked about her family. I can't actually remember. It was way a long time ago when she was younger. She talked about it. I don't think she ever said Romanian and stuff like that. Like one of her father, like not father, but probably somewhere this in her family. She was talking about the Winter War, etc., etc. Which is back in obviously 1939. So I don't know. I don't think so. I think she is Finnish. She's probably 100%. Probably Swedish a bit. Obviously being part of Sweden for years and years. Yeah, probably Swedish and Finnish as well. It's not really Romanian. I don't know why it was Romanian out of all places. Maybe Finnish and Swedish. Because I can't remember exactly what it was, but this is when she was really young. She was a city council at the time she was talking about it. Not that I recall anything about Romania, but I could be wrong. Because she doesn't talk that often about family, etc., etc. Oh, is there? All right. I was wondering why. No, because she never said. Like, I'm only going with what she said that time. So I presume her family has been like her, relatives together. Because she did mention about the Winter War, and somebody related to her must have been in the Winter War back then. So they must be in Finland probably all the time. Man, yeah, but I don't think so. I don't think it's like down there. Yeah, but I'd say it'd be Finnish Swedish more than anything else. Yeah, I don't think it'll be more up there. No. There's another member of the Finnish parliament that has Mountain as the last name. I can't remember who it was, but I think it is. Give me a second. I looked it up on this. Oh, okay. Because there was another one with Mountain, like the last name in the Finnish parliament. Because again, all of them are insane. Like, what is like just to say the names, the second names of people I had to try and pronounce in Finland. There's a person with Kopone. Sorry, I say it again. Kopone. Like, how do you pronounce that? Try and enlighten me with that. Am I just don't know? I could have swore. Yeah, they all seem very Finnish names in here because they're just insane to try to pronounce. Yeah, which is that? Yeah, her maiden name is that. That's right. Yeah, which is Italian. Might be. And I've actually looked. Like I know a middle name, but no, I don't know about Italian. Uh, like the only name I can pronounce here, I thought there was another man. Maybe I'm just open. Just look because I might be actually don't myself. Yeah. No, I might be wrong. Yeah. Nah. I thought there was another mountain. Like there's hundreds other names. Yeah, that's her middle name. That's her middle name as well. Yeah, as well. I thought there was. I might be. I might just check in. Yeah, it's just insane names anyway. um, but no, unless she does say, because to be totally honest, I don't know. She never really talked. Like she doesn't generally talk much about her past, etc., etc. Not her past, but her family, etc., etc. She's more talking about what's happening at the moment in the present time. If that makes any sense. Um, she doesn't talk about what's happened in the past. If that makes any sense. So that's what I'm going by. I can only really go by what she said, basically. Um, so I'm just looking. I'm just looking to actually see because I wouldn't know if she said something publicly about it. Like I remember her saying about somebody in the winter war. So the day whoever immigrated, if they did immigrate, say for example, they would have had to been probably there in the early 19th century when Russia owned Finland, something like that, maybe. It's quite a long time ago, I'm sure you would mean. Yeah, like it's just insane. Try and pronounce them. Like there's some of them there. If you were there, like it's just insane trying to pronounce this. One person would need about 600 digits in the thing. But not that I know of. Anyway, I highly doubt maybe. I say she's like a lot of them. Like Lai Anderson, I've heard Lai Anderson say before. She's kind of Swedish and Finnish. Because Sweden used to own, so she has a bit of Swedish heritage and Finnish heritage. Like Lai Anderson has people back then that were Swedish and stuff. So technically she's half Swedish and probably half Finnish, Because she's publicly said about it, Lai Anderson. I've heard her say it 2 or 3 times about her Finnish. Because obviously Sweden used to own Finland for 500 years, something like that. It was a long time. And then the Russians took it over, etc., etc. That's why Swedish is still the second spoken language. Like, it's two national languages in Finland. It's Finnish and Swedish. Every person in Finland has to learn Swedish in school. Even though they're not part of Sweden, obviously. But it's the second. It's the same in every street. You probably would notice if you went to Helsinki or any city. Everything's in Finnish and Swedish, and sometimes English. But a lot of the names of the cities are in Finnish and Swedish. The two languages are the same, like basically the same. Even though I think Swedish would be a bit different than Finnish, because I couldn't. I tried to learn some what they were saying. They were trying to teach me some of it too, and it's just like talking to the wall. Like ketos and stuff like that. Peggale and stuff like that. It's very easy. But that's it. I can't make a huge conversation because, especially because the thing about it is, all the time I was there too and talking to people, they were inhaling right when I was speaking. They were inhaling because they talk fast, and then there's they inhale while they're speaking. It's insane kind of thing because they can just keep talking, they keep going. But yeah, definitely Lia Anderson has. I don't know about Sanna now. But she never. Lia Anderson be probably more open to talk about her past and stuff like that. Like not past, but obviously going back generations and stuff like that. Yeah, but it must be. Yeah, it could be. Again, I don't know. She never said about it. That's what I'm going by. She never publicly said about. Because see, Sanna is a person that's in the present. She's not in the past. She doesn't have her head stuck in the past. I suppose that's why. She's more focused on what's happening now, here and now. If it makes any sense. Because you never hear her talk too about her growing up to with her alcoholic father, who was an alcoholic, etc., etc. I never heard her once ever bring that really up. But I'm sure she's probably it probably hurts on the way to bring it up, so she probably would never bring it up. You never hear her publicly talk about it, let's say. Because she probably still doesn't get on with her father, etc., etc. Like there's not much known about her parents, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. She's never openly talked too much about it. She's, obviously her mother raised her because separated from her father, etc. But she never ever talked about it, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. She's never said it publicly, Like Lia Anderson has said about Swedish and Finnish. I remember hearing of what Trice saying about it. Like she would probably talk about the past. Sanna would talk about here and now, basically. Or within the last few years, not when she was younger. And maybe like she is supposed to be writing a book, and they did say it to me over there that they're supposed to be working on the late stages of it. So unless maybe she says something about that, but I think she'd be more focused on COVID and what's happening in Russia, etc., in Ukraine, etc., and the whole when she was in government, etc. I don't think she'd be talking about her past, Good night, Gordon. Thank you for being here. That makes sense. She's more about in the moment and in the present. It's the same as she's never talked about. She's referenced before a few times about only for the Finnish welfare state. And going to getting free education, etc., going to college, etc., because she didn't have to pay for it. Obviously, it's Finnish citizen, you don't have to pay. She said, no, I remember her saying a good few times, only for that, she wouldn't probably be where she is today, basically. I've heard her say that 2 or 3 times, but she's never specifically talked about what she did before. Like we know about her having 2 jobs to make ends meet, etc., when she was young, before she joined the Social Democrats when she was 30. Like she had to work in a bakery in the shop. She had to do 2 jobs at what 2 part-time jobs, I think it was. Like she never really talked about it. We only know from what they said. Yeah, but they definitely there a long time because I do remember her saying something about the Winter War, about some of her parents. There must have been one of them. Well, not her parents, but distant relatives probably when they went to war, and obviously that's in 1939 or so. So there must have been there at least more maybe than 100 years of them, give or take. But I suppose we'll never know unless she says it, because because we don't know. Like her mother's name is not publicly ever been stated. Like, she's never talked to it. Her mother's really never been there too, and her father. Like, in all the occasions, she was Prime Minister, etc., etc. She never was there with her mother or father. Like, they haven't been publicly seen. Like, they hadn't taken any photographs from the press and that. Because I'm just trying to take about, I don't think I've ever seen a photo of them, like being with her basically when she was being elected as Prime Minister. Like, they're still alive. Like, I particularly too with her father. I understand probably why she wouldn't talk about it, because probably is a bit. It probably is something inside her that she's holding back probably a bit. Particularly again in relation to her father being an alcoholic, etc., etc. I'm sure anybody would agree if you were a child, not the nicest experience, like growing up, etc., etc. Especially when they had a divorce, etc., etc. The mother had to look after, etc., etc. But unless she writes the book, that's the only way we're ever going to know. Because I don't think anybody knows, to be honest. They're just trying to take action. Oh yeah, but it still doesn't justify what he did now, regardless of what he was full of drink or anything. I'm just trying to figure this out. No, she's never really like, as far as I can find, she's never really said. And I know it for a fact because I would know if she said something about it. But I don't think she ever will. To be totally, even in the book, I don't think she will. I think she was just talking about what happened when she was Prime Minister, etc., etc. Like, she likes, she's often said about the press, etc., etc., nosing into business, etc., etc. So I don't think she would want to open that can of worms, if that makes any sense. So I don't think she ever will say anything in the book. Let's put that way, either. If she does publish the book, like, I don't think she ever will. She's wants to keep herself to herself, I suppose, like a personal issue, like personal things. So I don't think we'll ever know, because there's nothing like looking there, and I would have heard of it. If it was something said. Yes, that's where he's got it from. But I don't think so. I haven't done this Romania now. Maybe it's Italian. Sean could be right, but I don't think Romania. Because as far as I know, I don't think she's ever been to Romania. Like, she's been to Italy, I remember, but I don't think she's ever been to Romania, as far as I know. I don't know. More Italian, yeah. It could be white Italian, but I don't know. But again, the fact of the matter, we probably never know. That's the thing. Unless I directly asked her, unless I was in front of her, asked her. But I don't know. I don't think she would take too kindly to you asking about her own personal business. Yeah. No. Unless you know in the book, but I don't know. But again, knowing Sana, again, I know I don't know her well personally, but knowing by researching her and knowing a good bit about her, she's not going to come out and say, if she has never before said it, she's not going to come out now. Um, and particularly when she's writing, because even to this day, even though she's out of the office of prime minister, you never hear her talk about what she did in the past, etc., etc. You always hear about now and tomorrow and the next day, but you never hear about what I did when I was younger. Again, only the time I ever really heard in the recent times said it was when the Finnish only for the Finnish welfare system, I wouldn't be in the office that I'm in, basically. Apart from that, she said nothing of anything about that. So I don't think she will, especially because I think as she said when she was doing the last interview, when was it? In London, some had. She said anything she says will be in the Finnish press, like in the front page of the Finnish press in the morning if she said anything. So, and particularly probably she doesn't want the personal business being on the front page of the Finnish newspapers. I presume so. But anyway, I think we're nearly finished for tonight here. I don't think there's anything else to discuss as far as I know. So we do a game and live stream maybe tomorrow evening. So anything else to add before we go, I suppose? Not that I know of, anyway. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. Not that I can think of, anyway, at the moment. There could be, don't get me wrong, there probably could be. But nothing that I'm aware of at the moment. There probably is someone in Cavan, but not that I'm aware of. Let me see, I can put this away. Yes, but festivals for what? Like we're just showing lakes, just saying here's a lake. Yeah, like there's obviously huts and stuff along lakes, etc. But there's no like events and stuff like that. Actually, I tell a lie, no, not now, but in a few months' time, in August, they're taking Middletown as one, like non-drink and non-alcohol event, basically. They have in Middletown, but that's not now. I don't think it is. Anyway. If it is, then it's next month. I know of that, but I don't know of any other ones like music concerts and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong; it's probably happening, but. The heat's going off. Air show. I know, but there's a boy air show every year, I think. I can know about that one. I often see it online, different things. When is the cavan cute? I don't even know what that is. Like again, I'm the worst person to be talking about festivals. Like I don't know of any. Like I don't be going to any festivals. I'm the worst person to be asking about festivals and stuff like that. I actually can find that probably now. Oh yeah, It's no, that's not it. We can actually look at this as cavan.ie. Yeah, here we are. This is cavan.ie. So where are we today? The 22. This is yesterday, Sunday battle thing. This is today's summer yoga session at Gavin Park. There's this going on. These are the public events, like concerts and stuff. Summer thoughts at Killian Park. Is this the same thing? This all. This is all. There's a teddy bear experience. Yeah, apart from this, the midsummer thing, but that's over, Sean, unfortunately, yesterday. Yeah, so I don't know. What be this? Water sports and cruiser games. You want to go to that and look at that. Yeah, like no festivals really. This is events kind of things. To be told, not that I know of. Again, I could be wrong, but we'll find out a bit more. Actually. Yeah, the Takati flower was on before I went to Finland. 2 weeks before that, so about 5 weeks ago, the County Flower was on in Kilishandra. That was on in Kilishandra. There's no flat clo in Cavan. There was the County Flower that was on in Kilishandra about 5 weeks ago. Yeah. I remember it was before I went to Finland. I was saying about it. I mentioned it. Yeah, there's nothing really else. So I'm looking here on different things here. Like whatever was there basis for this week. Could be that thing in Milltown is on at some stage. I don't know when that is, but I think it's next month. In Milltown. But apart from that, I know of nothing really else. But see, again, there could be some big concert going on in Virginia or something like that, and I wouldn't have a clue. The Virginia show is on soon, actually. I don't know when that is, but I know it's on someplace. Like for farmers and stuff like that. The Virginia show. It could be on this week coming. I don't actually know, so I wouldn't quote me, but I think it is sometime soon. I'm not too sure, but I never was at the Virginia. But I know somebody was saying something about the Virginia show. But anyway, yeah, look, lads, and I think we'll leave it there because we've been discussing this all night with shows and things like that. So yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. We'll be back probably tomorrow night with a short gaming live stream, probably. So we leave it there for the moment. Thank you. And enjoy the rest of the evening. And hopefully, again, I have that video of Finland out soon. Hopefully by tomorrow even, hopefully, or Monday. We'll see how we get on. But anyway, thank you for watching. This is Gavin, and bye.